Hey folks, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be looking at question 309, best time to buy and sell stocks with Cooldown. So the way we'll be solving this problem is by using dynamic programming, and the basis of this entire solution is that we'll be storing states of the maximum profit that you can earn at every single price that you encounter throughout the array by looking at what's the maximum profit that you can earn if you've bought at that particular value or sold at that particular value, or use that value to just use that as a cooldown period. And the way we'll be representing those states is with these variables. So B naught will keep a track of what is the profit that you've earned so far with the assumption that you're buying at this particular time. B1 is what is the maximum profit that you've earned with the assumption that you've bought the stock just previously. And these three states right here represents the selling maximum profits. So S naught represents, oh hey, this I've sold at this particular moment, so what is the maximum profit that I've had by selling right now. S1 is keeping a track of, oh, this is the maximum profit that I can earn by selling previously. And then S2 represents what is the maximum profit that I can earn when I've sold that particular stock 2 iterations previously. The solution becomes more intuitive as we start coding, so let's jump right in. So first let's cover the base cases. If if the array is null, or if the length is less than or equal to 1, you would just return 0, because you need at least size 2 to buy and sell at least once. So let's initialize all of our variables. So B naught would say, hey, we have actually bought at index 0. So we would say price of 0, which means that I'm buying at the first index itself, and since I'm buying, I would pay that price out of my pocket, so it would be negative. And B1, since we don't really have anything before that, we would just initialize to B naught. And then let's initialize all of the selling prices. So since we haven't really sold, it will be 0, S1 will also be 0, and S2 will also be 0. Right. And in the for loop, we will start our iterations with 1, because we have already assumed that, hey, listen, we are buying at the first iteration. So I is less than prices dot length and increment it. So for B naught currently, you need to get the maximum profit. So what you would do is you are saying, hey, we either hold the price that we have already seen previously, or you would buy it after a cooldown period. So there are two buys that you can possibly do. You can either buy it previously and sell immediately, but since we're keeping a track of just what's the maximum, you're just buying it, so we're not really doing any action, we're just keeping it as is. Or you can buy it afresh with S2 minus prices of the current. And the reason why that is because you're looking to buy at the current iteration itself, but you can only buy that with the cooldown period when you have sold at S2. And S2 is keeping a track of what exactly? S2 is keeping a track of what is the maximum profit that you have earned, not this particular iteration, but the previous with the previous 2 iterations. That means you have sold it, you have 1 day of holding period, a cooldown period, and now you're buying it. So this is what it represents. So these are the 2 states that you can possibly do with buying. You can either keep the previous buy itself, or you can buy it after a cooldown period. And S naught is what exactly? So let's look at that. So you're keeping a max of S naught by either keeping the previous sold, that means you have sold it and you're currently cooling down, so you're keeping it as is, or you are selling afresh, that means you've just bought the stock previously. So that would be B1 plus prices of I. So let me just go over that again so it's super clear. So you're telling, so S naught again has 2 states. You can either sell it immediately That means you bought at the previous iteration and you're selling it right now, thereby this is the profit that you're getting. Or you've sold it at the previous iteration and you're keeping, and you're not doing any new action. You're just holding that particular stock as sold because you want to use that as a cooldown period. So that's the max. So these two lines, what they're doing is that they're telling, hey, this is the best thing that you can do from a buying perspective, and this is the best thing that you can do from a selling perspective, with the condition that you need to have a cooldown period. So these things right here, like this right here, says that, hey, we are waiting for a cooldown period before we actually buy it. And after we have done the calculations, we renew the states. So B1 becomes B0, S2 becomes S1, and S1 becomes S0. And in the end, the thing that you're returning is S0. And the reason why we're returning S0 is because after you have iterated through the entire array, it has to end with a cell. You cannot buy it and keep it as is. So that's the reason why you're returning it with S0. Let's just run this code and see if everything is okay. Oh, price is not length. GTH. Okay, cool. So let's just run this again. Let's see if everything is okay again. Why? Oh, S1. Oh, wait. S1 and what we've been shown. Okay, cool. So that should be good, hopefully. Perfect. Compiles, the first test case works, and then if all the other test cases work as well. All right. So this question is a little tricky, but once you wrap your head around how the states work and how they interact with each other, the solution is pretty simple. The time complexity for this entire solution is O of n because you're iterating through the entire array just once, and the space complexity is O of 1 since we're using just a fixed amount of variables and not using more space than necessary. So that's the solution, you guys. Let me know if there are any questions that you want me to solve in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!